Grüezi, hi and welcome to another Dune Awakening live developer stream here from our offices in Oslo. I'm Natasha Rösli, Senior Global PR Manager at Funcom, and I am your host for today. So we have some exciting things to talk about, things we've been working on in the past. We have coming up a quick look back to Chapter 3, kind of a recap. We will be talking about what's coming next in the update 1.4, and we will talk about the Waters DLC as well that will also be delivered with 1.4, and we also have a Q&A at the end of the stream. So it has been a hot minute in Araki's terms, pun intended, since we had our last stream, but I am very excited to be back. I'm very excited to have really interesting guests today and to talk about what we've been working on. So, to start us off, let's take a quick look back at what Chapter 3 brought to the table for Dune Awakening.
Welcome to Chapter 3, the biggest update to Dune Awakening yet. Chapter 3 rebuilds the Landsrad system from the ground up. Take on Landsrad missions that shape your role. Gatherer, crafter, explorer, fighter, or saboteur. 10 new overland locations rise from the wasteland. These include 5 new Imperial testing stations, and they feature a new boss system with group challenges that can be scaled to achieve greater rewards. The main story of Dune Awakening continues in Chapter 3 with the art of candy. This is Chapter 3, a rebuilt endgame, deeper systems, new missions, new weapons, and new ways to define your role.
All right, so we are back, and I have some exciting guests. I am always happy to have you back on stream, Joel. Joel and his toe shoes, our creative director on Dune Awakening. Joel, introduce yourself quickly to the ones who don't know you.
Hi, my name is Chris Knife, and it's been a while. I've been making trips. I've been obviously busy, hard at work on Chapter 3 and 4. We're talking about 1.4 we're going to talk about today. And I also, in the middle of that, took a trip home to Australia to visit my family down under, who I haven't really seen that much in the last 7 years, thanks to Dune Awakening. And it's good to be back and to see the community. And I don't have real toe shoes today. I feel bad about that. But my real toe shoes are in the wash because they had the stank. So I got some other ones on.
You need to have your microphone a little bit away from your beard, sir, because you're having like
I have scratchy throat.
Beard scratches on the stream. So
and my wife complains about it all the time.
Hello.
Hello.
And also the master of colorful socks normally, but he disappoints today. Can we even see it? Yeah, we can see it. It's like wearing black socks today, but some really cool fancy
it's
slippers.
It's my Japanese hotel slippers that I stole from a Japanese hotel. Well,
no one heard. It's fine.
Borrowed.
It's fine. No one heard
I'll
that.
return them one
it's
day.
Okay.
It's
okay. But anyway, Ole Andreas, our production director.
Yep.
Ole Andreas, also something you want to add?
No, I think that's good. I've not been down under, but I've been here keeping the fort.
Yeah, things got a lot better while I was away.
He's been working.
It was a lot easier to just make shit.
You're still rubbing here.
Happen.
I think you need to. Can you just put it maybe a little bit further down?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's rubbing
We actually
against.
really missed that guy while he was out. It's kind of nice.
Do you want me to just hold
Just
it
put
up
it
to my
put it
mouth?
a little bit down here, maybe.
Oh, okay.
On a fold.
Take it out.
I feel like
Take it off and
a
put
HR
it on
case
a-
waiting to happen.
Tech issues.
That's perfect.
Is that better?
Yeah. Perfect.
Any nipple interference? Or are we good? No?
Nipple
Okay.
interference. All right. Thank you, Joel.
Sorry.
All right. So we have been hard at work, believe it, with some of the recent updates as well, since updates we had since Chapter 3. One of them actually just went live 2 days ago as well, that introduced some really cool new things, including dedicated PvE and PvP instances for the Deep Desert for each of the official worlds. Very, very excited about that one. But let's briefly chat about Chapter 3, right? There were a lot of new things that we introduced, a lot of cool new features that kind of were introduced to kind of build a foundation as well. So how do you feel about this? Like, how did it go? Like, are you proud?
Maybe
You
I
wanna
should talk about how it started.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
think this is kind of interesting for people to hear. So obviously, before the game launches, my job is partially to make a plan, right, and have a plan. Here's the roadmap. This is what we're working towards, right? These are the creative goals for the project. And then the game launched, and we sort of saw how things were going, what people were complaining about, asking for, wanting more of, what wasn't working, what was working. And we knew that my original plan for Chapter 3 just had to be sort of thrown away, right? So we kind of took what was originally planned, and we just said, no, you know what? People need more endgame content. We need to pivot here. It's a very hard pivot for the team because we were kind of in the middle of production on a lot of stuff. We sort of went, no, we can't deliver what was originally planned. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about what was originally planned, but we
can go high level. That's okay.
yeah. So we were originally having planning to have the third faction in the Landsrad, the smugglers, and Fallen Light as a social hub, and of course a bunch of things like faction quests around that. But we saw that players weren't as interested in that kind of play, and they were more interested in what was going on at the end game. We saw that the Landsrad obviously wasn't fulfilling the function that we'd originally wanted it to fulfill in the game, and obviously we had a lot of stuff going on there with the end game. So it was a huge pivot. We came up with a plan. We worked with the systems designers. We came up with a progression system, the specialization systems. We worked with the content teams to figure out how we were going to do these Landsrad maps, the Landsrad missions, the dungeon team to figure out how we would do boss fights. The combat team was also obviously a huge part of that. And then we all just came together with this big plan, pivot time, everyone turned on a dime and started working on this stuff, and we managed to, I think, deliver a pretty huge update after a lot of work. So yeah, it was a very big thing, but it was about listening to what the community was saying, listening to what people were asking for in the game, seeing what people were looking to have more of, and sort of giving people more to do and more stuff, more ways to advance their characters. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy, but the team really pulled through and delivered on this one.
Yeah,
I remember we sat down in this very room, sitting down with all of the people that you talked about, discussing the plan, coming up with it, and then just let's execute. And the plans that we had in the past, they'll be there if you want to revisit someday. But this was what really mattered at that time. So, and I'm pretty happy to see how it's been received. The players seems to have enjoyed it. We built a great foundation. Like the foundation we built is, we spent a lot of time building a good system for dungeons, a good system for bosses, fleshing out so it's easier to build these kinds of content in the future. The Landsrad system with missions, it's easy to expand on. So yeah, we have a pretty good foundation now.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And as you say, it just creates a base for us to build upon, right? And also some of the things that come up now that we're actually showing today kind of already use that system and build on it already. But of course we have many more cool things that the teams are working on that of course we can't really talk about just yet, but hopefully soon. So I am very excited for the future, of course, of Dune Awakening. So, but I'm also a little bit biased, I guess.
The future's so bright, you got to wear shades.
Oh yes.
Also because it's Arrakis.
Goggles
Also
and
because
a
it's
steel
Arrakis.
suit
Sorry.
and a steel suit. Yes, exactly.
And
Yes, so there is a lot of things that have changed in a very short amount of time. Also, of course, we had community challenges that were also super well received, I think. And people were freaking bursting through those.
We even had to here's a stretch goal because
Crazy,
you the players, you just burned
it.
through it, smashed it completely.
Absolutely smashed it. And
so that's definitely something we want to do more of, by the way.
Exactly, yeah. We are going to actually mention that again a little bit in one of the follow-up segments as well regarding community challenges and things like that, because they are fun. I love them myself. So. Also, we actually see already some stats on the screen as well. The viewers should see that as well. There are some fun facts and some fun data because obviously we are looking at the data besides the fact that we have our ear and eyes on the community and the feedback and the public feedback as well. But yeah, let me throw you some me throw some stats at you and then you just kind of react to those. Either like you say like, oh, that's because of this or whatever. It's like, so yeah, in regards to dungeons, I think one really interesting fact here is that 75% of users complete 1 to 3 dungeons per day.
Oh wow, that's
a high number, I think.
Yeah.
So it looks like that was a very good addition, and people really like running those as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and the average time was 13 minutes, I think, to complete a dungeon.
That's what it said. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, that's good because like it
30
adds
minutes,
a sort of session length to the game as well, which people with less time, they still feel like they can achieve something meaningful.
Yeah.
So yeah, running 1 to 3 dungeons, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, and I remember when we started working on the game, one of the targeted session lengths for the game, from a design perspective, was we expected people to play about 45 minutes, which would be 3 dungeons, right? So it's not too
Perfect.
bad. Yeah.
And that's among the other things that you do as well, right?
yeah, of course,
So
of course. So it's yeah.
And that's also that play session time was way longer than we expected.
Oh yeah, of course. The
That was-
PlayStation time is longer, but that was the target originally.
was crazy. Yes, so also it's like 1% completes an average of 10 dungeons
10
per day, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
Those people
I think, like-
really want their specialization, so I guess they're capped. So,
Yeah,
but they want their augments.
they do it. I guess they appreciate the boost events.
Yeah, for sure.
75% of the dungeons are completed solo. I think that's not on the screen right now, but I think we had I think that's also very interesting.
It's quite interesting and something we've seen in the data as well. And we've been looking at that specific thing as a thing we wanted to dig deeper into. And we do see that the balancing pass that we did for 1.3 did favor somewhat the solo runs in a little bit. So we are doing passes now actually to kind of make the balancing a bit more favorable towards 2, 3, 4 again.
Yeah,
Or
just
at
make
least-
grouping meaningful, right? Like that's the important thing here. Is like to make people feel like they aren't losing out by playing with friends.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of kind of the
Yes.
effect that you would want to
Yeah,
have. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's balancing passes towards that.
Because there's fun in playing together. And I just came out of a run I did with Jeff here.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. And I don't want to feel like I'm punished for doing that.
Yes,
So it
exactly.
makes sense.
No, and people who play together stay together, as we say. So it's always
nice.
fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we want to encourage that, and obviously that was one of the things we felt was a bit off after the patch.
Yeah.
So it's something we've been working towards fixing. We've patched a little bit with this. Is it yesterday? The
Yeah,
last?
Yeah,
2
yeah.
days ago,
Yeah.
1.320
1 through 20 yesterday, right? So that was
dungeon
the
balances,
patch, and then and then there's more to look at as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the stuff we did in that one was like reducing the ad spawns in the 2, 3, 4, boss health,
Loot bugs, there was
loot
some
bugs,
loot issues, yeah.
some rebalancing of the loot so that you're getting more of the loot that you actually want and
Yes.
less of the loot that you don't
Yeah.
want.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, continuing to improve, iteration.
How it is with a live game, right? So it's just
Exactly.
Like,
No
it's
plan
a
survives first
work,
contact
work
with the
in
live
progress.
game.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then the highest level of difficulty a dungeon was completed was at least back when we pulled this data, level 150,
What?
which is freaking crazy, which is absolutely insane. Like, shout out to whoever did that. If you're watching, kudos.
That is impressive.
How can you go? There's a challenge for you. Let us know.
I mean, the
right
number
now it's
goes up to
150.
999, so...
It doesn't. It doesn't have a cap, does it?
Oh, I think it doesn't, but
No,
yeah.
it doesn't have a cap.
Technically not so much.
Technically
I mean,
not.
technically there is an int max somewhere, but...
Yeah, there'll have to be a number that
It's like the Donkey Kong thing. Like once you're at 9,999 or 99 million whatsoever, it goes back to zero.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
the end circle. Yeah, the thing that's impressive about that. So there's a certain point like in the RPG, and this is actually what's helpful about this scaling system as well, is it allows us to keep an eye on how our RPG systems work in the game and how the player stats and things scale. And one of the things we see is that basically if you can avoid getting hit at all, which is what these players managed to do to get to 150.
Naked runs.
If you can avoid being hit, that's why, it's naked runs as well.
Yeah.
But if you avoid taking any damage at all, then of course it doesn't matter what the level of the dungeon
Yeah.
is, right? Like
Yeah.
so there's some there's some really cool and interesting things there in terms of progression and lessons we need to learn for scaling as well to make our systems better. So I've been talking with the systems guys about it and the combat team because it's kind of this conversation between combat and systems about making sure that these things feel correct and meaningful, and that it isn't just like once you get past a certain point, it's just not about not getting hit.
Yeah.
There has to be some more progression there. So
Yeah, makes total sense.
yeah.
Awesome. Also, of course, we already talked about or briefly touched upon PvE and PvE deep desert instances now. So also we just had Haga Basin become completely PvE as well. Do you want to say a little bit about how that came to be, like what the kind of, thought behind all of this is?
Sure, I'll take I'll take the blame and the no, it's fine.
There's no blame.
It's the so I mean there was a vision when the game launched, right, for how we thought that these things would play out. We were trying to make them work. There was a very clear vote from the audience, the people who bought the game and played the game. This isn't all that they wanted, right? And it wasn't working the way that they wanted. And so we have been like looking at the stats, talking to people. We made obviously a very quick adjustment to the Deep Desert to make 50% of it PvE and PvP, thus making nobody happy at all because it wasn't really designed as a PvE experience. And the PvP experience was shrunk down to a certain area. So we've been discussing back and forth internally for months and months about what to do and how to do it and how to refocus things. And I think the conclusion was at the end of the day that and there was talk of doing things like making entire PvP servers from scratch so that it was PvP all the way through. There was talk about, but there were complications with doing things like that where people who were invested would lose all their stuff, having to go migrate to a new server and start from. So, I mean, we have mitigated all of those things along the way.
Yeah.
But still, so we decided that actually giving people the choice between a PvP Deep Desert and a PvE Deep Desert was the best way to make people be able to like choose the type of play that they wanted to engage in, right? And then that allows us as well to then focus in. So, you know, PvP players will have a different meta. They'll have a different approach to the game. We'll get feedback on that. We'll be able to make changes that work more for people who are participating in this kind of pure PvP battles. There are things that I've talked about in the past that I've mentioned. The control points should come back at some point and they will then tie directly back to the Landsrad, but it won't be the system that it was. The control points will have a slightly different emphasis. There's things we can do in the new PvP Deep Desert, like no fly zones, right? I've mentioned that in the past to reinforce the RPG systems, reinforce getting on the ground and fighting things out properly. So there is kind of like a thought process behind segregating the types of players and how they want to play. And you know, I'll highlight this by saying another thing because I think it's really important. A lot of our negative Steam reviews are people complaining about having to do forced PvP, as they call it in the game, right? And so there's also a lot of pressure to make sure that, like, well, we need to make sure that people don't feel that they're forced into it, right? And I think that's also been a clear goal from the team, like to make sure that the most possible people can enjoy Dune Awakening.
Yeah, makes
And
total sense.
now you can choose to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's also worth mentioning that this eventually allows us to kind of make a more tailored experience for each audience, or not each audience, but each experience, I guess I would rather say, because we still want it to be open for a PvE audience to dip their toes into PvP if they wanted to. I also think it's worth mentioning, because we've seen this already, and we did have a conversation about this before 1.3.20 went out, about making sure that PvE Deep Desert is a place where griefing is not a predominant factor. And we expect this to some extent, of course, because that's just how the nature of these kinds of games are. But we are currently also looking at further mitigations towards that. So more to come on that end. We've done one pass with this patch, but there will be more coming.
Yes.
I think it's also really nice to have that PvE option in the Deep Desert, because then people can, you know, amass resources and they don't feel like they can dip their toe into PvP and they don't feel like, oh, I'm going to get super punished because they know, oh, I have a lot of things at home.
Recovery is easier now.
Exactly. It's easier to recover from that, which I understand that a lot of people don't have that much time. They can't just, you know, spend. Some people have, some people don't, right? And then if you put those people in the same pot, it gets difficult, right?
It's been a key concern, I think. I would say that that's a red thread through everything we've done since the launch of the game, is that the game punished people with too much loss, right, throughout parts of the game. So and losing vehicles really hurts people, and we had bugs around that in the beginning. We had a bunch of things that were causing those problems, and then also like harvesting. You know, people were losing vehicles out in the deep desert. So there is like this consistent feedback on the loss, and it's very hard from a game design perspective to make meaningful PvP without meaningful loss.
Exactly.
Right, which is why the choice to make a PvP Deep Desert where there can be meaningful loss, right, so that people still feel that the risk is there and the tension of those moments still exists, and then we can work on, and hopefully other like-minded people are out there, so it's still that moment of tension when you go out into the PvP deep desert,
Yes,
and you still
exactly.
feel like you're flying out and you're looking, check your six, where are people coming from? Is there anyone around me? And we've made so many improvements to the game for that, like the
Yep.
view distance of ornithopters,
One of
Yes.
them.
and all those kind of things that we've been just working on to try and make it better. I think we patched a version of a fix for ornithopter surfing yesterday as well. I don't
Not
know.
the ornithopter. That's coming in a future
That's
patch.
the next patch. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are listening and paying attention to how the dynamics are as well. So yeah, as with all these things, you put them out, you see how things go. And then on the PvE side, I think there's things we can do to make the Deep Desert a less boring PvE experience, because one of the things I would say is that it was never designed, like the content in the Deep Desert was always that tension, those moments with other players, and PvE has sort of not got the same tension in the Deep Desert. So there's things we will do there as well and look at.
So there's a lot of things to come, a lot of things that are being worked on, a lot of things that people internally also are aware. I'm also glad you mentioned the ornithopter gliding thing. That was, I know, a big pain
Yeah, the
point
surfing,
recently,
yeah.
the surfing.
We are paying attention to pretty much
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything being said out there. So if
Yeah.
people are worried, I mean, keep raising it. That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
We want you guys to raise anything that you see as an issue, and we have a great community team, a great CS team, a great live team, and they keep looking at this stuff, and we evaluate all the time.
Yeah, and as we said as well, I think we mentioned it. I mean, the specialization go in that kind of that way as well. Is
Yeah.
we want to give player the option to play in their way, like find ways or like enforce or make sure they can actually do the things they like doing, right? Other things that go this way as well is, of course, the things that we're doing with self-hosted servers and things like that. There's other things that are coming that we work on.
Yep.
Maybe you want to mention those two. There's two big things that.
Yeah, I mean,
Just briefly mention.
it's almost ready now for public test client, where I just spoke to the team today. It's starting to become in a very good spot, the self-hosted servers, and that will allow a lot of players who want to kind of tailor their experience to be able to do that. And that's one of the I guess the general directions that we want to take, is that we want to open it up a little bit for people to kind of tailor their experience for what they want. So if you want a hardcore full like on PvP world, you can set that up yourself
Yeah.
and gather that kind of community, and we're not going to be the ones gating it.
Yes.
We'll still have
and-
our own servers, of course, that run the game as we intended.
Yeah, officials and
Yeah.
no, I think that's really important, right? Like giving players the option
Yes.
is always sort of one of the philosophies we try to follow, right? Like, and Conan Exiles was the same. It was kind of one of the things we always talked about. People would say, "Should we do this or this?" And I'd be like, "Just make it an option so people can choose
so
which
they
one
can
they want
choose
to
which
do."
one they
Right,
want.
and it's the same thing with this. The self-hosted, I think it launches with a somewhat limited set of options, and we're adding more and more.
So
Or we
there's
got
going
most
to
of
be,
them in?
you can get access to most options, but it's a bit convoluted to figure out how to configure it. So
Okay.
we'll make it pretty obvious,
Yeah.
the options that do matter for most people with documentation and all of that stuff, and then we'll keep making that more accessible. And then we also expect some of the community to build tools around it,
Yes.
because that always happens with these kinds of things. So we'll build our own tools, but we also expect the community to build some really cool tools
We hope.
around it. We hope, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are great.
Yeah, and then of course we also have server matches coming relatively soon as
Yep.
well. More on that at another point in time, though. So yeah, but that was it for this segment. I think that was very interesting, and it's always super cool to get a bit more into the meat of things and why were things done and what we're doing as well, and the thought processes and stuff. So hopefully you found that interesting as well. I know I did. So I'm always excited to have Joel and Ole Andreas on stream. So
You mean
Joel, thank you
Krish.
so much.
That's all right.
Chris,
Yeah.
Chris, thank you
My
so
name
much.
is Chris.
I'll have you back for the Q&A.
Okay.
Ole Andreas, you will be staying with me for the next segment.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And we will actually look at 1.4 and what's coming your way with 1.4. But also we have a quick teaser for you. So take a look. So, welcome back, everybody. I actually have a completely new face on stream today, and I'm so happy that you can join us today, Hugo.
Thank you.
This is Hugo Mardolkar. He is our project management director. And if that sounds a little bit confusing, don't worry. Basically, we have Ole Andreas here who does the what of our development, and Hugo does kind of the how in the development. So those two actually work quite closely together as well. So they kind of balance each other out, they complement each other really well. But Hugo, you want to introduce yourself quickly to the stream?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I am Hugo, or as we say in Portuguese, Hugo.
Hugo?
Yeah. I've been in Funcom for more than 10 years. I started out as a coder in the old games. But yeah, now I work as project management director with Ula. So I focus on how things are done, and he focuses on what gets done. So and it's really nice to work with Ula.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah, outside of work, just a little detail. I'm a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I'm a 3rd Dan.
So don't mess with Hugo.
I absolutely love Taekwondo. There's no Hugo without Taekwondo, and so I teach it every week, and it's super nice. And yeah, of course, I'm also a gamer. I play board games, tabletop RPGs, video games, all of it.
And a connoisseur of really cool meme t-shirts, obviously, as we can see right here.
He has pretty much a new one for every day.
Yeah,
Element of surprise. It's awesome. Yeah, I love it. All right, so we just watched the trailer. Hugo, was that correct?
Yeah, close.
Almost. close enough. Tell us a little bit what's coming.
So for update 1.4, we have 3 main things. We have the Water Shippers DLC. We have a new dungeon.
Water Wars.
Water
DLC.
Wars
Yes.
DLC.
Yep.
I knew I was going to get it wrong. Internal names, external names, you know. And then we have the Old Quarry dungeon. And we have a new endgame location called Wind Pass. And this time it's not Joel's fault. It's actually Herbert that called it that. So.
The official name, Wind Pass. It could
There's a
have
few
come
internal
from Joel.
jokes on that one.
A few.
Yes, I'm pretty sure Chad had a field day with that as well, or maybe has one now, so we'll see. Yes, so as you also mentioned, the Water Wars DLC is of course the conclusion of the season pass.
Yep. Correct.
Yes. So now, it's called Update 1.4 officially, Ole Andreas. Why is it not a chapter? Why is it an update 1.4?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've seen some videos online as well from certain creators that have been guessing on what's coming in this update. So to give you like a little bit of the view on the back end of things on our end, we're working on a bunch of new cool content on our side. What's coming in 1.4 is a part of it, but some of the content that we're working on, including new map location, it needs a little bit more time to cook before we're ready to release it to the players. So that's coming in a later time in the year. But yeah, with 1.4, we have been cooking on what Hugo just mentioned, which we're pretty excited about showing. So, and then the continuation of the story is also something that is coming a bit later in the year. And usually we've been tying the word chapter to the continuation of the story. So, that's kind of why I guess it's called an update 1.4.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of like another stepping stone, right, for us to actually then go into the bigger updates, like laying more foundation work and all that to then go to the big boom.
And the content in update 1.4 is literally a stepping stone for what's to come. What I'm teasing about now, there's a good foundation there that teases.
It's exciting stuff though. Like I really like the two new locations. I'm just going to say as much, but we'll take a look. Actually, we can take a look now. Let's go in game and check out Wind Pass. So Hugo, tell us, what is the story?
Yeah, but I mean, it's important to say that, you know, in the beginning it was challenging to make Wind Pass, but with the right direction and the right shape, it really started to flow, and it feels pretty good to be able to show you all this map. So you can see.
Really, dude? Oh my god!
So yes, on the
Nice.
left you can see
Nice.
the Harkonnen structures that they were the original people here, and they abandoned it. And then you can see the red structures is from the new faction of the Water Shippers. So the Water Shippers have several families, and the family that took over this location is called the Yafeng family. So
It looks so completely different to anything we have seen so far in the game.
Yeah, the
Like this-
architecture is really
yes,
cool.
yes, and we actually see that. We see more of that later on, but
yeah, so they took this location and they set up a operation where they get asteroids from space down into Arrakis, and then they harvest water and rare minerals from those asteroids. But they clearly were very greedy. So there on the left, you can see that something bad happened. And then because of all the commotion, the old houses send the player to investigate. So on the right side, you can then see one of the locations, one of the areas where you might have to go there for some of the missions, because this map comes with 5 Landsrad missions. So that used to be the living quarters. And then up there, that red structure is the Yafeng family mansion, which is built with the new kit that you will get with this update.
Well, it's a part of the DLC.
Yeah, part of the DLC. And yeah, you
Very
will see as we go into the mansion that these are clearly very rich people.
I love the red accent color. It's beautiful.
I think
Me
Gavin
too.
can talk more about it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the shape has to do
Yeah.
with crabs and something. And
We will
yeah,
talk about
here you
that.
can see they even have palm trees inside.
what a waste, though! Oh my god, that's just like such a power move and such a show-off move. It's like we have water to waste. We're just gonna have palms inside.
And if you go to the right,
Like what the hell, man?
you can see the very rich room of the leader of the Yafeng.
It's got a nice little bedroom there.
And to the left, you'll see their planning room. So there is a strategy table here, which may or may not hint at things to come. There might have also been a frame in the wall with a picture. Maybe, maybe not.
It is pretty nice teaser of.
And then we'll get to look at some of the underground areas of this map.
As you mentioned as well, like of course, depending on which specialization you do a Landsrad mission for, you go to like different areas. You have different objectives, of course, and each of the specialization actually does have missions here, of course.
Yes.
And if anybody's wondering why nobody's getting like attacked or none of the NPCs are doing anything, it's because we're cheating and
Yeah. So this is the R&D lab. This is where you will come and steal some information, maybe steal some schematics. You'll see. That might be a schematic. And then on the other side, you have the greenhouse. And this is where we took another inspiration from Dune. We're using something which are called the tubers. Internally, we sometimes refer to them as the potatoes. And these ones are growing. In theory, they grow up to 2 meters long, and they have, I cannot remember, but a lot of water in them.
it's funny because Norway is a potato country, is what we call it internally, and here we are growing potatoes.
So, and the missions, some of them will involve coming here to kill someone. It could be to steal information because the other houses want to know what the Yafeng are doing here, or how they're managing to grow the tubers in this location. It can also be to poison something. So they're quite different, the missions.
We also just saw now that Camille, who's playing behind the scenes here, he went up and down. So there's a lot of verticality in this particular map as well, which I think is really interesting too.
Yeah, no, it's one of the world direction pillars defined by Jeff our world director, is
Shout
that
out to Jeff.
yeah, shout out to Jeff, is that we need to have verticality in the game, and that's been a core pillar for the entire thing. And I think when he first saw this map, he was like, "Ooh, you guys, you really listened to me.
Finally
this is
got the
amazing."
brief.
He actually said, "Guys, it's almost too vertical." But yeah,
Is there such a thing for Jeff? Too vertical? Nah.
I think it was
Not
okay.
after the Graven, yeah.
He was.
But-
so this area here is we call the launchpad area, and you can see the water towers from the water shippers, and then on the right and above you can see the structures that hold the asteroids with Holtzman fields.
And you can go all the way up there, and there might even be a reason for you to go all the way up there.
There might be a mission that takes you up there. And then one of
That's
the
very
coolest locations is the mill, which is where they take the asteroids from up there, and then they put them in this location, this tube-like location, and then they harvest all the stuff.
I think we could say that this is probably one of the larger type Landsrat maps. It's pretty a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also the really cool thing again, because it's so easy, well, easy theoretically, not like actual development time or work-wise, but to add new locations to the overlap map, which was
Yes.
always the design behind the overlap map, to be able to add new locations like this specifically for, specific objectives and things like that, or Landsrat missions.
And this is something we definitely want to continue doing as well.
Exactly,
And,
yeah.
and Joel, who's just here, has plenty of plans and designs and thoughts for future maps to add and future locations to add. So it's going to be cool stuff coming.
Exactly. But that's not the only thing that's coming. The other thing that I'm personally very excited about is, of course, the brand new dungeon that we have as well.
The old quarry.
Yeah, so here you have the old quarry coming in, selecting your difficulty. It's got all the same mechanics as the other dungeons that we introduced in 1.3. It starts out in this sort of mining facility on the ground, and then you have really cool combat arenas. I really love these arenas. I was just playing this one again, and it's cool because there's the NPCs has been given some abilities and some new movement sets, so that they're behaving in a way that I felt a lot more natural. So that was really fun. And then as you see, you kind of go past the mining, the entrance, and you start going into like the vents and start going up towards what seems more like a lab where they're doing experiments. This ties back into this water shippers faction.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be some weird creatures here as well that you'll have to fight off. And this all kind of just leads to a new boss arena, which I do believe that we're going to be seeing the entrance to next. But yeah, it's really beautiful. I really like how this looks. And here you see the tunnel leading to the boss area. Do you remember the name of the boss?
Jolanta?
Yeah, I think
think
that's
so.
true. Yeah, that's true. So she's
Dr. Jolanta, please.
yeah.
Dr.
Excuse
Chilante.
excuse my French. I was Dr. Jolanta, and yeah, she is pretty cool. She has new abilities, new faces, new mechanics, new everything. She has these ads that she will call on. They will rise from the ground, and they will come at you, and she can charge them with fury, I guess, some sort of.
Let's not go into too much details.
Okay, sorry.
Let them discover some things as well.
But there's some cool mechanics at least. That's the important part.
Yes, that's the important part. Again, stepping stones, building on things that we already introduced.
But I think the main thing I want to say about this is that you kind of have to manage both the boss and the ads at the same time, and that's where the balance is.
Yeah. And here, of course, we also see some of the things that we will get from the dungeon, including new armor, new weapons. There's actually quite a lot. We can actually take a look a bit after this, a bit later, at the actual what those weapons look like. But
I really like this new armor.
Here,
Gorgeous.
in the in the water shippers design, obviously. So there's quite a lot of new loot drops actually.
I think there's like 5 new
From the
ranged
dungeon.
weapons, 5 new melee weapons.
weapons.
Yeah, this is Camille showing them.
Yes, exactly.
And then there's, I think, around 17 new augments as well.
So
and then
there's
the
a
2
lot of
chest
things.
pieces and the helmet as well. Yeah.
Which you get by doing actual mission. Like there's an actual thing you have to do. I don't
Yeah.
want to spoil it.
It's a part of the progression in the
yeah.
in the update.
So there's a lot of cool new drops as well available in the dungeon. And again, I think it's very cool that we really see as well that we are now introducing even more a little more complex boss fights as well, and mechanics and things. And that's definitely something that we're gonna build upon and work on and
Yeah, the boss system that we built the foundation for in 1.3 update has been, we're just continuing to build on top of that. And it's really fun to see what the team can do with it, because they're just surprising you. Hey, I did take this mechanic that we had and this mechanic that we had, and then I added this element, and suddenly you have a whole new way of fighting a boss.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
exciting. But of course, as you mentioned, new map, new things that we're working on that are coming soon. Other things like new community challenges, more booster progression weekends and all that. So this is all things, of course, that we've done in the past, and also things that we're going to do going forward, depending on the feedback. So far, the feedback has been really positive about this. Again, I was blown away by how fast the community smashed through those community challenge. That for the one for chapter 3, that was actually.
I feel like we underestimated them.
Yeah, I think so
bit there.
too. I think so too.
So for the next community challenge that we're planning, because we are planning another one with 1.4, we're not going to underestimate you. You won't be able to do it, I'm sure.
No, there's your challenge. There's your challenge, players.
Sorry, that was a cheap one.
But also, the last thing I wanted to mention is we also work on quality of life improvements, like especially performance-wise. Of course, that's an ongoing process, right, Ole Andreas?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's something we're continuously working on. 1.1320, the patch that went out yesterday. No, the day before yesterday.
2 days ago, yeah.
Tuesday. Had a bunch of performance improvements that we're working on with how the base shields work, render distances on a few things, vehicles in when you're in crowded areas. There was like a ton of different performance improvements that the performance team is working on.
Yeah.
And that's going to continue to come in the future patches. There was a few in 1.4 as well.
Yeah. That's right.
So yeah, expect
Fantastic.
improvements in performance going forward.
Fantastic. I, for one, am very excited for the new update. We actually have some more coming up, but I'm just going to thank Hugo for now for being here. It was a pleasure to have you, hopefully
you.
sometime soon.
Yeah.
Ole Andreas will be... No, you will be back for the Q&A, actually.
I'll be
For
back
the
for
next
the Q&A,
segment, I
yes.
have some new guests. But now it's time to get some water, maybe get some snacks, because we have a quick break while we do some changes behind the scene and prepare for the next segment. Don't go too far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you have some water or some other good beverages and some snacks, and you sit comfortably, because now we're gonna talk Water Wars DLC, which is generally a thing that we do with our update. So we have a free update, and then we have optional DLC, an optional paid DLC that is cosmetic. We will see some examples of that, or actually pretty much a lot of examples that look very cool, that don't give you power. So it's not, like you don't buy power, you don't buy anything that someone else doesn't get. So it's purely cosmetic, and we just want to make sure that you know that and to stress that again as well. But to talk about the Water Wars DLC, I have two new guests on the seats here, one new face and one face we have seen before. So let's start with the new face. This is Gavin Whelan, our senior art director on Dune Awakening. Gavin, I am so excited to have you on stream.
I'm so nervous to be here, yes.
Finally. We tried to get him on stream so many times, but he's so nervous, so please be nice, chat, give him a very warm welcome. He's such a nice person too. Gavin, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yes, Gavin Whelan. I've been with Funcom over 20 years now. It's been a long time here. And first time doing this, so I was super nervous doing this. Normally very, very, very happy to be behind the camera.
It's going to be fine.
Doing the art stuff.
Yes, It's going to be fine. And all the way over there, we have Tor Egil, that some of you might recognize from previous stream. He is our building wizard. So if you see any crazy good looking buildings and constructions in our marketing material, you can be sure that Tor Egil was involved, and probably also the designer of those things. Tor Egil, you want to introduce yourself a little bit further as well?
Yeah, Tor Egil. I've been here. If someone remember the building stream we did before launch, I was there. I love building, and I'm very lucky to be able to do it in both Corner Excels and Dune Awakening.
Yes.
So we have some cool new things to show you from the Water Wars.
Yes. So let's show some things. So this new DLC has a very unique look to it. We've seen a little bit previously. So we've actually seen a hint of that in the game, like live. And, but yeah, here we see also the new building pieces. Tor Egil, do you want to comment a little bit on it?
Right now we are in a water shipper's base that I built. We're going to show you all the contents of the DLC here. You can see the building pieces, you're going to see the decorations, all this stuff. So as you can see here, I'm just right in the middle of the base. We're high up on a mountain.
Gavin can probably also give some feedback, or like some background on why does it look like it looks, and what is the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, the water shippers, you've seen it in Windpass. Essentially, they're more of an industrial type of faction. They're not like the grand, big, major houses. They are people they have an industry, they have a job, and they have grown incredibly wealthy. So we really wanted to represent two things here. We wanted to show the industrial side of them. So the clothing is very functional, very work-related. They're not scared to get their hands dirty doing things to earn money. But we also wanted to show the wealth and the opulence of who they are. They've got money, they've come into it, and they're not scared to show it off. And it was a great excuse for us to actually give the players something, to improve the quality and the visuals of their own personal bases. So there's a lot more color, a lot more vibrance in here. It's really what we want to do. People, we've had the Atreides bases, which are kind of grey and very sort of modest in many ways, and then we have the brutal sort of Harkonnen camps, which are, they are what they are. They're big black monolithic structures. And we started to introduce a little bit more color and variety in with the smuggler sets. So a lot of blues and coppers coming in there. But now we're sort of getting into more, certainly the plants, like you mentioned earlier. This is how much wealth do they need to have to show off, and that they can have trees and plants and yes.
And one unique thing about this particular building set is also those leg-like structures. Tell me more about this.
Wow, this came from Bruno, who is one of the art directors who works with us in Lisbon, and he had this obsession about making it crab-like, and we really like the idea because they're kind of latching on and grabbing hold of things. I mean, there's always something parasitic about the industry of Arrakis, whether you're taking spice or you're taking water or any sort of materials. There's something you're taking from the landscape. So there's really only two reasons to be on Arrakis. It's either spice or religion, like the Fremen. So, you know, it's not good and evil, but it is a little bit slightly
It's
kind
like
of
grabbing
yeah.
onto wealth as well in that sense, right?
It's
A
certainly
little bit?
yeah, the acquiring of wealth and not
Yeah.
you know, showing it off.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So here you can see tons of cool pieces in the set. There's 52 building pieces. The arch, as this is called, is basically 3 walls high, and it an arched leg going out, and it connects perfectly with pillars. So this is the Watershipper's pillars here, you see. I really like the windows, I really like the roofs, and I really love that you can have both white and red walls, so it allows you to quite a bit of to be creative with different colors. So we're gonna head inside also after, but we're gonna stay outside a little bit here. You can see a lot of nice combinations you can do while building with this set. We also hope you wanna combine it with other sets, but here you can see, for example, one of my favorite features is that you can have different color ceilings. So here I've been combining red and white, and they have these nice lights.
I love those
Yeah,
ceilings. Can I
it's-
just say it's very like, I love those so much.
I feel it's very stylish.
Yeah.
And here you get a little taste of some of the decorations. There's 18 decorations in the DLC. So you see a nice bed, nice couches here. I really like the colors here. I've also used the swatch. You get a swatch with the water shippers, and I've used it here on wind turbines, things like this. So you can see it's combining white and red just like the set is. Here you can see. And for example, here is the banner for the water shippers. So you can build a lot of cool things. I feel it's very opulent. You can be a bit more sci-fi. It's quite different from most of the other building sets.
Yeah, we still wanted to keep this connection between some of the architecture and some of the methodology of why they build here and how they build here. So we started with the Arakeen structures that you'd see in the city, and it's kind of an evolution of that because you still have to take into account the environment, the wind, the weather. I mean, it's the first and most important thing when you're building an Arrakis to survive the planet.
Yeah.
But then to have that flip side, to do something interesting with the interior, like you were talking about the ceilings and the wall colors and all the furniture and
I mean, look at this. It's so open. Like just also the detail on the table here with the texture is just
Yeah, I really like this.
absolutely fantastic. I also really love the lights. I love the lights in this set so much. It's probably one of my favorite sets when it comes to the lights. Not only because the things that are inbuilt into the ceiling, but also some of the, you probably go and show them afterwards. I don't want to go ahead of you of your, yeah, there they are. Like those chandeliers are just, they're so art deco. Like I love that so much. There's just like the whole style is, especially interior design is just.
Yeah, the concept artists really love doing this stuff, and they provide me with so many good choices. It makes my job really easy and hard at the same time to sort of narrow it down to the set that we have. But yeah, they are very, very beautiful.
I think it's also easy to see that this is a faction or families that are rich. You know, they're not Corino rich. They're not Empire. Like they're not that kind of rich. But you can see here that they like to show off that they have money.
They've made money
feel
out of
like,
Arrakis.
you know,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, it's still kind of, we need to keep a lid on the wealth, not so much so we don't compete with the Corino because we want to expand into the future.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
add more.
Yeah, so here you can see a small light, you can see 2 wall lights, and you see the chandelier. So you have also these cool bookcases here. These lights are built into the bookcases. I really like the beds.
Yay, inbuilt lights.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So there's lots of cool things here. The carpets are also nice, a bit more color than usual. And here I've used the swatch on the storage containers and crafting stations.
I also like thinking about the outdoor, like the external design with those sets as well, like more like, you know, mecha type structures, stuff like
Yes.
that. You know, like I didn't want to. Yeah, but that's kind of my first thought when I saw the building set for the first time. I'm like,
Yes.
I know what I'm gonna do with this.
Well, this is that's
from my childhood.
for me. That's the fun part. Okay, I mean, when we build these, we have a shape language in mind. We have a design in mind. And then the first real test of that is handing it to Torigo to build something
Yeah,
with.
actually talking about that, before we show some of the other really cool stuff, we do have some concept actually that
Yes.
you shared with us, which is probably would be fun to maybe look at those quickly if we can, and then we can go back to the actual.
Yeah.
There we are, like.
Yeah. So
those.
the top line of sort of images and concepts, some from the movie, which we kind of wanted to stay true to some of the design language that Denis Villeneuve had come through in the movie, and in addition to two of the building types that we had before, and the new elements that we wanted to add to that, to sort of take the Arakeen structure and change the angles of it to make it more streamlined, to sort of, you know, design for design's sake as opposed to just something that's functional, and the protection and the shielding. You know, so the exterior feels protective and still attractive and beautiful, and then go into the interior, and then these are just
It's
you know,
just
things
like,
of beauty for
yes.
beauty's
Oh yeah,
sake.
maybe we can go back to the actual in-game
Yes.
view again. Yes, because I mean that almost makes me want to switch off my
It's-
Harkonnen ornithopter. This is like, I mean, this is just
It is the Porsche of
Porsche
ornithopters.
of ornithopters.
It doesn't need to look like this functionally, but it does because they want it to look pretty in it, and so it's
You
nice.
want to show off your, like, you have money, man. You can build
Yeah.
an ornithopter that looks like this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very sleek
As a
and
family
stylish.
of water owners, you know, like this is what we do. This is
And it looks good flying.
we
as well.
deal in
Yeah,
water. It's super streamlined. It looks like the sports car
Yes.
of ornithopters, like literally. So I love it. I think it's my second favorite after the Harkonnen. I think the Harkonnen ornithopter is my favorite, but
It's a personal
I
preference.
might be convinced.
But that's
to
what we're trying to do. We're trying to sort of appeal to different
aesthetics and-
people,
yes.
different aesthetics, different
100%.
fantasies that players will want to take, and we'll just keep on building and adding to this in the
Yeah.
future.
You can see they have a few golden accents here also, some little
Yeah.
parts here and there with a little bit gold
Sure,
on
why
them.
not?
So I'm gonna head
Throw a little bit gold in there too. Why don't we? Yes.
gonna head back to my
have the money.
character. There we go.
We have water to sell.
Yeah.
So in the DLC, there's of course 3 armor sets. So here is the scout armor. So you can see the style of the red and white coming through here.
You can actually see on the shoulder pads the shape language of the shoulder pads. That was the origin of the
logo.
arches.
Oh,
So that's where
yeah.
that shape came from.
It's
So it
also
came from
similar to the
character.
logo they have, the actual.
It's very similar.
yeah.
We want to have something that felt like a water drop, but also felt like a diamond.
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
wealth
How
of water.
nice, yeah.
So we're gonna put on the heavy. So these are variants. So you apply them to your existing armors if you own the DLC. And this DLC is in the Season Pass and in the Ultimate Edition, like the other DLCs. So here you can see the heavy, like built for a specific climate. And here I'm gonna swap to the still suit.
And also
So
you
very
mentioned as
sleek.
well, like this particular Water Wars DLC is the conclusion of the Season Pass as well. So this is part of the Season Pass.
Yeah.
You get 2 weapons as well. I'm a big fan
I love
of the
this.
rapier.
Me too. Me too. It's so unique looking.
You can see many of the similar shapes, I feel, going through both this and the Thopter and any of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for a concept artist to, there's so little space you have to work with to continue a theme and to make something that's interesting and new. And yeah, he did fantastic on this. And same with the weapon. The rifle looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so this is a drill shot. Just zooming in here. Very
And again,
sleek
just
weapon.
to also repeat that again, these are, as you mentioned too, these are variants basically, so or skins, right? So this is not a new weapon.
So you can, the rifle, I feel the rifle is very stylish here. Yeah. Let's see. There's also a couple of emotes that come with it. We can do one of them here. The water shipper salute.
Nice.
Cool.
The other one we're not gonna spoil.
You'll see it when you get it. So
Exactly, you'll
Yeah.
see it when you get it.
now, overall, it's a very nice building set. I feel it gives you a lot of options. I can go a little bit into the building tool here just to show.
Yeah.
So here you can see all the pieces. For example, there's lots of little details in the foundation here. There's a lot of mechanical parts, like there's wheels. It's not just a block. So there's a lot of tech in the set. And of course, here you have the arch, 3 walls high. So trying to fit these around your base, trying to basically make space for the arches is a big part of building with the water shipper set here. Here you can see the nice pillars. I really like the doors and the roofs. And of course, as with all sets now, there is a garage door with this as well. The set uses granite to build with, so should be nice and easy to get. These roofs with the windows I really love them, and this is a rooftop here, so you can use this as a cap. There is a simpler version of it, but this is very stylish. I feel with the window here. So I feel this set could be very good to build maybe with the observer. Like you could make some really cool combos with observer set. But of course, feel free to build however you like.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to
Awesome.
see what the players do with them.
Me
because like
too.
Torrego was the first reference of like,
Me
is this
too.
working? Yes or no. But then when you see what comes back from the players,
I
it's really
still
exciting.
think we should do like kind of a Torrego versus community type of challenge.
Blues.
But then of course, yeah.
The best
Do we want
players,
him to be? Do
the-
we want him to
Yeah.
be like?
the best players will always be better.
Yes.
That's the rule.
Yes.
Yes.
I was. Do we want him to be bested like that by the community? I was like,
Yes.
part of me is like, hell yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, I think we've shown quite a lot of things here now. I do hope that our players are as excited as I personally am about this. I'm really looking forward to. I mean, I've seen it and stuff, and I might have tried it out and things. But I'm really looking forward, as you mentioned, what you all are going to do with this new set. Yes, and with that said, thank you so much to Egil and also Gavin for joining me today and showing us those building pieces and armors, and also talk a little bit about inspirations and things like that. That's always interesting. And now from one beautiful thing to another beautiful thing that we haven't actually been directly involved in, but is very tied to our IP, of course, and has us very excited, and I think probably you as well. Let's watch the Dune Part 3 trailer before we go into our Q&A.
If we have a girl, what will we name her?
Her name should be Ganima. She'll need to be strong, like her mother. What if it's a boy?
I would name him Leto. So he would have the wisdom of his grandfather.
War feeds on itself. The more I fight, the more our enemies fight back. I'm doing the best I can to protect my family. How did Father do it?
Your father never
must not die. Yet.
And we're back with our Q&A with Ole Andreas and Joel, who is stroking a sandworm. Shout out to Dana, by the way, from our community team, who crocheted this sandworm, by the way. She's a wizard when it comes to making
Looks
logos.
really
It
good,
looks really
actually.
cool. Yeah.
Pretty cool one.
It looks fantastic. Maybe I can
It gives me comfort in my darkest hours.
get one as well. Yes. Stroke the sandworm.
Yes.
Typical Joel fashion. All right.
I don't know what you mean by typical Natasha.
We collected some questions from the community, from you, and we're gonna answer those now. I'm gonna throw those over to you, of course.
Sure.
Now,
Can I ask? Do you think any of the questions are going to mention PvP?
I don't think so.
No, probably not. No one has any questions
no.
about that.
I mean, I've seen them. There's not a single PvP question in here.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, any future plans for PvP, such as Arena?
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
So for Chapter 3 story, we built the arena, and the plan was to use that for more things in the future, both of a PvE and PvP nature, hopefully. So I can't say concretely when, but there's definitely some thoughts in our mind about how to reuse that level and that arena for future content.
And yeah, there's been conversations internally, and I mean, Exiles has some similar.
Yes, Exiles has
Mechanics.
buildable arenas as well, which is also something that one of our lead coders is very excited about.
I mean, Giddy Prime Arena, that would be fun.
And we've seen a ton of cool videos online of players building
There are.
arenas
Yep.
that they're doing PvP in.
Yes.
So this is
100%.
definitely something that we enjoy seeing, and if we can help, then yeah.
Yes.
I like arenas. I like PvP, arena PvP personally. So, yes. Okay, next question. Are there any plans for matchmaking to find friends?
Not any plans now, not currently.
No, I don't think so. We can look at it and talk about it, but right now it's not the plan.
Yeah. All right. Are there any plans for faction versus faction?
This one's interesting because I think if we do that, we have to do a very specific setup for it, right? Like some people have talked about having faction versus faction in the deep desert as an option, but it's complicated. A lot of people, there are a percentage of people who haven't joined a faction in the game, right? Like by the time they're going to places like that, what happens with neutrals in these situations? So the definitive answer right now is no, there are no key plans, but like it is something that we need to spend some time thinking about and looking at for faction versus faction. There'll be more faction ranking missions in the future. And as we build through those, I do want to take a look at it, think about it. So
I think that's a good answer. Never say never. And oops, I just got my messages. There we go. Are there plans to add mods for self-hosted servers?
No plans for mods. I mean, we're working with an IP that also has some. I feel like there's some restrictions there that we need to respect on the IP side.
for sure.
100%.
So yeah, no plans for mods. But I mean, self-hosted players servers, they will have quite a few options to configure their experience.
Yes, and people tend to be quite ingenious. We'll see what they come up with.
Yeah.
True. There's actually a question that we kind of answered in the DLC section. So, are the new base pieces for the water shipper plastone or granite? It's granite. Yes, but it's okay to also repeat. Is there a placeable swatch that can go with the water shipper set? We actually touched on that as well. There is actually one swatch that comes with the DLC. Tor Eagle actually had some wind turbines that had like the red and gold. Well, it's kind of red and then it looked goldish, brassish. So yes, there is a swatch for placeables. Are there plans to add a building camera mode?
No current plans, but that's an interesting thought.
It's been raised before,
Yeah, it's been talked
and
about.
we've talked about it internally before, but we haven't actually got it scheduled in a patch right now. So,
But I mean, this is one of the things. Like since launch, we've done a lot of quality of life updates based on player feedback.
Yep.
A ton of the stuff we've been adding in patches are that. So definitely something we will look at sometime in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Like even even a few months ago, you were paying taxes. Now you're not, right?
Yes.
So there's stuff that like
Things can change quite fast.
things change fast based
Yeah.
on feedback and what we see people wanting, hoping for, and definitely like And also, I do have to say, also what people do. We have pretty good metrics from how people play the game,
Yes.
and we pay a lot of attention to because, like, this is going to sound like I'm. No, I don't know.
I know exactly what you're going to
but like there's this thing like people say a lot of things and they often say things like you just have to read any Reddit post and see that there's 20 different opinions, right? The truth of what people do is actually the core thing that you can sort of see.
Yeah.
So like it's like you have to make sure that you filter signal and noise and you understand like what people say they want, what people actually want, and how they play the game, so that you can make good decisions about these things.
Yeah. So like our decisions are always informed by both looking at feedback and looking at forum posts and Reddit and all different kind of platforms, but also informed by data that we actually have on how players play the game. I think it's also kind of important to mention as well, because generally there can be a group that is really loud and then it feels like, oh, everyone feels that way. But then we do, of course, have internal data that shows us like, people have been doing that many dungeons or people have been doing this particular thing and not so much of the other thing. So
exactly.
it's important to mention that we're not just nilly-willy changing things.
No, exactly.
So,
We pay attention to a lot of the data.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, any plans to be able to show off wealth by having real plants? That's a cool question. I love that, actually. That's a fantastic question.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a...
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, there is a thing about that coming up one day.
We're putting like this is future plans.
Yeah.
We have talked.
Joel's hinting and teasing, but yes, definitely like there are
That's
things.
something that I don't know about.
There's
either.
features in the future that we want to explore that touch upon that. Yes, for sure.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Now I'm excited too, chat. I'm super excited.
Everybody in the game loves
Can't believe
Derek
I don't
so
know
much.
about
We
this.
want to give you as much Derek as we possibly can.
Good old
I see.
Derek, the planetologist, everyone's favorite man.
Yeah. I get it. Any plans for new water storage and collection?
Not currently.
What about the potatoes?
But I mean, sorry, that's not correct, I guess, because this is where it ties into future plans.
Yeah, it's the whole thing about like we're sitting here held hostage today because we have some really cool stuff we want to talk about, but we're not allowed to talk about because, people tell us, no, you can't talk about this stuff. So, hey, we're just trying to tell you stuff without saying stuff. But yes, there's definitely stuff coming in future stuff.
Quick. Might be a table somewhere.
I feel like that's that moment in
Wind
Arrested
Pass.
Development where I wink at the screen and then someone says, never do that again. That was disgusting.
No, but yeah, it really is. Like we have some really exciting stuff. And
Yeah,
it ties
I know.
into what you're talking about now with
yes. So
water
as we
and-
mentioned earlier, like yes, 1.4 is an update. It's not an actual chapter, but there's of course so much more in the works. So don't you worry. There is a lot of exciting. things
Have you
coming.
reassured people about Conan Exiles yet? Have you done that? Should I do that?
We'll talk about that at the very end. Shush.
Sorry.
Anyway, on to the next question. Are there news on the server merges? Lots of people asking.
No news, but it's still a thing that is coming very soon. We have a plan internally that we have some dates, and then we'll have some dates for announcing it, making or releasing a list of which worlds will be affected, so that people can start preparing mentally and which ones they want to move to, and then there is plans for when we'll start actually shutting them down as well. But there's going to come a lot more information about it. We have spent a lot of time thinking about how to make this as smooth an experience as possible. Even if you come in after the merge or the server merge has happened, we want it to be as smooth as possible to move the bases and the vehicles that you had on that world that was merged over to the new one.
Yeah.
So, more information coming. We'll make it as smooth as possible.
There's a lot of moving elements, no pun intended actually in this case, but there's a lot of moving elements that need to be considered and really,
Yeah, and we needed to get some of the pieces in place, like base reconstruction and things like that.
Exactly.
So we've been building out features
Building
will then-
stepping stones.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. Building out features along the way that both are requested by people so that they can, take a break from the game and come back and restore their bases intact, and all these things that people have been asking about, and telling us like clearly that they want. But in addition, these things will help when the server merges come. So we had to build out, the steps so that we can,
Concrete examples, you just mentioned it, like the base reconstruction tool, and now also the base recycling tool.
Yes.
Because in the server merge context, we might force basically auto backup your base, S in plural, and then maybe some of those bases you don't actually want to place down, or you don't find a place for it, or you just want to recycle it. So now we have that functionality, and you can get the time you put in building that base back again when you recycle it.
Because the game itself, like Dune Awakening, is a complex game already, and then having like system like that need to work intertwined like this is even more complex. So
Yes.
that's the reason it takes a little bit longer.
We
than-
really want to take the time that you put in, the effort that you put in seriously, and we want to make sure that that gets backed
Yeah.
up.
comes
properly.
back to that original philosophy of helping people not to have loss,
Yeah.
which has been sort of the
I just love how you hold like your little support animal there. It's
I,
just
uh,
like, what are the dogs called? The official term that you can have that help
helper
you?
dogs or help.
Is it support animals?
I
or
think it
what
is
are-
Emotional support.
Emotional support.
Yeah, this is
You
my
have an
emotional-
emotional support sandworm.
My
There you go.
emotional support childhood.
Yes, that's what. And then we have one last question. Any plans to add elevators?
Jeff G, stop being
It's
in the
so-
chat. Jeff, get out of the chat.
Is it Jeff? Is it you, Jeff? Is it you, Jeff?
It is a feature we've talked about internally a few times.
How many times did you cut it?
I haven't.
Oh wow! It's
It's
throwing him under the
shelved.
bus. Not nice.
It is a
Not
feature
nice.
that we want to do, but it's always a priority, and it's a tricky one to do.
Yes.
If you don't know, one of the hardest things to do in games are elevators, moving platforms, doors, like the things you don't think is hard.
Well, it's
That's
also
really
because these
tricky.
are suspensor elevators that we were talking about.
Correct,
And,
yeah.
And they have
Yeah.
they have a cost on the servers that has been quite high. We have done prototypes of this.
Yeah,
and
we
that's
have.
why we cut it, because we were like, oh, this is killing performance in the game. We need to rethink it, refactor it, and retry. So yeah, one day I think these will come, because Jeff G
Yeah.
is going to kill us if we don't
It's-
put them in. The world director has been asking for this for like 3 years
Oh, I bet.
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really wanted them for Haggard Rift. That was his first place. He was like, I want people to be able to get out of Haggard Rift from the bottom by taking a suspensor elevator up, and we were all for it, but it was
Difficult to.
not
actually
feasible
implement.
from a technical
Yeah.
standpoint in some ways. So
It's so funny though. But every game I've worked on since back in EverQuest times was about elevators. I remember Calathane had like those elevators. Throwback to Darkfall as well. We had like the discussion about elevators there as well, and then it comes up again. I feel like it's also following me around this whole
what's
elevator
super weird
discussion.
though is that Christian Bull Hansen, one of our
Yes.
expert designers, implemented elevators on Conan Exiles when he went home one weekend, and then came in on the Monday and went, "Hey, his elevator's working." I was like, "Which? Which? I don't know how he did it. I still don't know how he did it." And it worked. I mean, I think the coders
So you're
probably had to
saying
fix
it's
it.
super easy to have.
I'm saying we need Christian Bull Hansen to just apply his
make
mind to
elevators.
this.
I think the
Okay.
clue is stakeholders probably had to fix it
Yeah.
for a week afterwards. But yeah.
Coders probably had to spend
But
a
you
year on it.
need both, right? You need the designer who's just like, here's a prototype, it's a cool
Yeah, yeah.
thing, and then
Yeah.
Then you actually have to make it work with everything else.
Yeah. Then you have to make it work with 1,000
Just
bases.
the logic alone doesn't make a feature, right?
But yeah, the answer is yes, it'll probably be there at some point.
And if not, suspensor belts.
Okay, cool. That was also the last question. So, thank you, Ole Andreas. Thank you, Joel. Always a pleasure.
Thank you,
It is-
Natasha.
And I mean that, it's always a pleasure to have you both on
It is.
stream.
It is nice to talk
It's
to the
always
community again. I have been
interesting.
away for a while, so it's
Yeah,
nice to have nice to have a chat and be back and say hi to people.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the community really appreciates that as well. And I'm also really happy that we were able to do another stream in between all the crazy work that everyone in the team is doing. So everyone is very hard at work.
I guess that's worth mentioning as well. Like, we're also hard at work on the console version that's coming out later this year.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
And,
Yes.
yes. So that's many of the things we cannot talk
Many of the things that what was that? What's the Conan Exile thing that you wanted to talk about?
So I wanted to say this about the Conan Exiles Enhanced Edition that's coming out. I just want to reassure the Dune community because this is something I've seen people talking about and speculating about.
I was going to mention that too, but it's actually nice if it's coming from
Since
you.
the trailers and stuff came out.
Yes.
We've not moved a single active developer from the Dune project onto Conan Exiles at all.
Yes.
There is nobody from the Dune team working on Conan Exiles Enhanced. I am probably the only person on the project who has spent any time looking at it, and that's just because of my role as Chief Creative Officer of the company. I need to go and pay attention to what else is happening. But we are not putting those resources on that game. That's why we're partnered with Inflection. We obviously have our own Conan Exiles team that we've had for a long time. So that's something I just wanted to reassure the Dune community about, because I feel like I see this speculation that people are like, oh, they're abandoning Dune and going, no, Dune has a much larger team working on it with all of the stuff that's coming. And I know it kind of sucks that we can't talk about some of the bigger updates that are coming.
Tell me about it.
It's frustrating, but no, rest assured that has not changed.
Yes.
So I just wanted to be clear about it.
Thank you, actually. Yes.
Stole your thunder, I'm sorry.
That is totally fine. I think it's actually cool. It's coming from you. It's way more valuable if it's coming from you than from me, you know. I love that we were able to...
Natasha.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to stroke that thing, So anyway, with Conan Exiles announced on the table already, thank you, Joel, we are going to watch the Conan Exiles Enhanced trailer. I completely destroyed it now, didn't I? Anyway, perfect ending to the stream. We are gonna end with Conan Exiles Enhanced version, Unreal 5 update coming for free to Steam. Thank you again for watching. We love you very much. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for playing, and hopefully we see you again soon.